What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Bad Influence Podcast, where we don't fucking sugarcoat it. We deliver the raw, unfiltered truth to help you take control of your life and crush your goals. Today, we're tackling a topic that's often overlooked but crucial for personal growth. Getting rid of small talk. Oh yes. So, if you're ready to ditch the shallow chit-chat and dive into conversations that actually fucking matter, stick around because this episode is going to be a game changer for you. Let's face the truth. Small talk is for when you're in a rush, at work meetings, or trying to fill awkward silence, don't you think? But when you're with your friends or family or really want to get someone, a small talk doesn't cut it. How often have you been stuck in a conversation about the weather, the latest sports scores, or that new TV show everyone's watching? Sure, it fills the silence. It really does. But does it add real value to your life? Fuck no. It actually doesn't. It may seem like it does, but it doesn't if you actually look at it from an outsider perspective. So, let's dive into why we need to bury small talk and embrace meaningful conversations that fuel your personal growth. Imagine this. You're at a party with all your friends, right? Surrounded by the people you know, the people that you love, the people that actually show you some love, right? The usual questions start flying. How have you been? What's new? Did you catch the game last night? And then, nothing. It's also predictable, right? That has happened to me so many times. And I see people going through this every time they go to a meeting, a gathering, even just hanging out at the bar. But what if you could break through that surface level and connect with someone on a deeper, more meaningful level? That's where the magic happens. That's where personal growth fucking starts. Because you start to connect with someone at a deeper level. You get to know that person and you're like, oh shit, I can learn something from this person. Or, you know what? This person and I can work together and come up with something great. The problem with small talk is that it keeps you in your comfort zone. It's safe, it's easy, and it doesn't require much from you. But here's the thing. Personal growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you push yourself, when you challenge your thinking, and when you engage in conversations that stretch your mind and heart. That's right. If you get out of that comfort zone and you start talking to that person like that other person is someone that you can learn from, someone that can teach you something, someone that you want to have in your life because of who they are, that's going to help you step out of that comfort zone. That's going to help you understand other people as well. Let me share a personal story with you real quick. A few years ago, I was at a crossroads in my life. I felt stuck, like I was just going through the motions, just like everyone else. And one evening, I went to a party feeling the same old dread of having the same old conversations. But that night, something changed. I met someone who became a mentor and asked me, Jordan, what's your biggest passion in life? That simple question sparked a conversation that changed everything for me. We talked for hours about dreams, goals, and everything in between. That conversation led me to believe that I could make a significant change in my life just by that one question. That's why it's important to know how to ask proper questions, how to actually conversate with people. This is something that I learned. I had to learn English just to be able to talk to people. In Spanish, I can do it. But in English, I couldn't do it at all. So I had to learn. I have had this type of conversations with my wife, with some of my friends. And believe me, it has changed everything. So, how do you move from small talk to meaningful conversations? It starts with asking better questions. Instead of asking, how have you been? Try asking, what's been the highlight of your year so far? Or what's something you're passionate about right now? I know, right? These questions open the door to deeper, more engaging discussions. It's an open-ended question, not a yes or no question, because if you're asking someone a yes or no question, like, hey, did you watch the game last night? They're going to be like, yep. And then they don't say anything else. Or they're going to be like, nope. And then they don't say anything else. And that kills the conversation right now, if you're trying to actually have a conversation with that other person. Another key is to fucking listen. And I mean really listen. Because active listening means not just hearing the words, but understanding the feelings and thoughts behind them. Most of you, and I was guilty as well, most of you are guilty of listening just to respond rather than listening to understand. Oh yes, this is something that I learned in therapy. I was only listening to respond, but I never listened to understand, especially in English, because I didn't understand what the words meant. But when you truly listen, you show the other person you value their thoughts and feelings. That other person is going to feel like, oh my gosh, he listens, she listens. She's asking me more questions about what I'm just talking about. So I'm going to give them more information. And when you do that, this builds trust and opens the door to more meaningful exchanges. They might provide you information that you didn't know about life that could actually change your fucking life. It's also important to be vulnerable. Share your own stories, your own struggles and successes. For instance, if someone is talking about a difficult situation, you can share a similar experience you've had. Vulnerability is the key to deeper connections. When you open up, you invite others to do the same. It's like saying, hey, it's fucking safe here. You can be yourself. This paves the way for conversations that actually matter. Conversations that can help you find solutions to your problems. Conversations that are going to expand your mind. Not just like give you some random information that you don't even need or you don't even care about. Now, you might be thinking, but Jordan, what if the other person doesn't want to go deeper? That's a valid concern. Not everyone is ready for meaningful conversations, and that's okay. But you'd be surprised how many people crave deeper connections just as much as you do. Because by being the one to initiate, you set the tone and create an environment where deeper conversations can thrive. You, our audience, can be the catalyst for this change. So this is something that I want you to go out there and try it. Try it with your best friends if you have lost this type of communication with them. Try it with a coworker, with your spouse, with your kids. That way you get to know them and they can create a comfort zone around you where they can actually be vulnerable. Because here's the thing, meaningful conversations are not just about connecting with others, but also about connecting with yourself. Oh, yes. Because when you engage in deeper conversations, you learn more about your own beliefs, your own values, and desires. It's like holding up a mirror to your soul. This self-awareness is a crucial part of personal growth. So, take a moment to reflect on your own journey and the conversations that have shaped it. Oh, yeah. This is something that I didn't learn until recently. That the conversations that I've had in the past and even right now in the present have helped me shape my life either in a good way or in a bad way. Now it has been a good way. So let's talk about the benefits of meaningful conversations, right? Because I don't think a lot of people understand the benefits. For one, they can boost your emotional intelligence. Oh, yes, they do. When you engage in deeper conversations or in deeper discussions, you become more attuned to your own emotions and the emotions of others. That doesn't mean that you're fragile or anything like that. It just means that you understand others and even your own emotions better. I just want to make sure that you understand that, because this helps you navigate relationships more effectively and respond with empathy and understanding instead of anger and start yelling at the other person. Meaningful conversations also foster resilience. When you talk about your challenges and hear about others' struggles, you realize you're not alone, which is something that a lot of people are looking for. They want to make sure they are not alone suffering throughout life. And when you find others having some kind of issue, you're like, oh shit, this person can do it. Maybe I can learn from that person, and maybe they can learn from me. That's what this does. This shared understanding also builds a sense of community and support, which is vital for overcoming obstacles and bouncing back stronger. It's a reminder that we're all in this together, and that sense of connection can be incredibly comforting and empowering. Oh, yes, you don't understand. When you have this sense of community with others, if you are having your own issues, but there's someone that you can talk to and learn from because they're going through some of the same issues that you're going through, then you're like, you know what? We can support each other. We can actually learn from each other. And that's what I want you to do. So, how do you start having more meaningful conversations? Here are some practical tips. First, be curious. Oh, I am curious as hell. So ask open-ended questions and encourage deeper responses. Second, practice active listening. Show that you're engaged by nodding, maintaining eye contact, and reflecting back what you've heard. Third, be present. Put away distractions and give the conversation your full attention. That's one thing that happens a lot right now. You see it on bars, clubs, restaurants, even at home. People start talking to each other, and what do they have in their hands? Their fucking phone. They're trying to pay attention to what the other person is saying, but they're looking at their phone, they're scrolling to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and they're not really paying attention. So the other person is going to be like, fuck this, you're not listening to me, you don't care, so I'm not going to talk to you. And the same thing happens if somebody does that to you. You're going to be mad. You're like, hey, I'm trying to talk. Why can you just not listen? Right? Another tip is to be patient. Meaningful conversations don't always happen right away. Sometimes it takes time for people to open up. Oh yeah, I have learned this. It took me a long time for me to be able to open up to my wife, and it took her a long time for her to be able to open up to me. So you have to be willing to invest that time and effort. And believe me, it's worth it. And this reminder can reassure you that it's okay if the conversation doesn't immediately dive into deep waters. And it can encourage you to keep your patience and persistence. Like, if you really want to get to know somebody, you meet a guy or a girl at work and you want to get to know them because, you know, they're nice. You're like, you know what? I want that person in my corner. Just start small, you know, try to make conversation with that person, but be patient. Let's take a moment to talk about the impact of meaningful conversations on our mental health. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with superficial interactions, having deep, meaningful conversations can be incredibly grounding. They remind us of what's truly important and helps us feel more connected and less isolated. You know? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. I have somebody to talk to, somebody that actually listens to me, someone that I can open up to. And more than that, meaningful conversations can reduce stress, boost self-esteem, and even improve cognitive function, because now you have to use your brain to listen and to come up with an actual answer to what you're hearing, so the other person can feel heard. Oh yeah, I've noticed that with me, and it's actually very interesting. So and remember, meaningful conversations, they're like a workout for your mind and soul. This keeps you mentally fit and healthy. Like I said, it makes you use your brain in other ways that you haven't used them in a long time. Like when I had to start making conversations with people, I've noticed that my brain was like, oh my God, trying to find words, the right words. I would get anxiety and everything, but I was like, no, I can find the right words for this conversation. And I was able to do it. And studies have shown that people who engage in meaningful conversations are happier and more fulfilled. These interactions provide a sense of purpose and belonging, which are crucial for your well-being. So by prioritizing meaningful conversations, you're not just enhancing your personal growth. You're also boosting your mental health, which is important. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a challenge. This week, I challenge you to have one meaningful conversation each day. It could be with a friend, a family member, or even a stranger. Ask deeper questions, listen actively, and be vulnerable. Pay attention to how these conversations make you feel and the impact they have on your relationships. What did they do for you? Did they bring you closer to someone? Because you actually started a deeper conversation. You realize that someone else is having issues just like you. You realize that your issues may not be as important as the other person who lost her spouse or his spouse or their job. You know, because sometimes we make our issues look bigger than everyone else's when our issues are so fucking small, and we could find the fucking issue, the fucking answer, and the fucking solution, but we just don't do it. We keep pretending to be a victim. And when you listen to others and their issues and they open up to you, you're like, you know what? I can fix my problems. They need help. And I can be the help they need because I know how to fix my fucking problems now. Remember, personal growth is a journey, not a destination. Each meaningful conversation is a step forward on that journey. It's about continually pushing yourself, challenging your thinking, and connecting with others on a deeper level. So bury the small talk once and for all and embrace conversations that truly matter. That's what's going to help you overcome some of the challenges that you have, especially when it comes to emotional issues. When you have issues like feeling alone, depression, feeling like you don't fit in, things like that. When you have deep conversations, some of those issues can go away, especially when it's an emotional issue. Thank you for joining me today. That's it for today. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Bad Influence Podcast. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with your friends and leave a review. Your support helps us reach more people and make a more significant impact. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep pushing your limits, challenging the norm, and embracing meaningful conversation. Stay badass, stay connected, and keep pushing forward and have a great day.